You can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot choose both. Brené Brown. Hey there, I'm Ashley, mom of 4 and creator of Reps and Redemption. Join me as I share my passion for health education, explore all things fitness and nutrition, plus share a little faith-filled homemaking along the way. If you're a mom ready to build strength and live a life of epic redemption, this podcast is for you. Let's get after it. You probably clicked on this episode because you might be facing something that you are, even if you don't care to admit it, a little scared of, whether it's doing something new, participating in a new homeschool program, or maybe it's jumping in to homeschool your kids, or starting a new Bible study, or joining a gym, or starting a new workout. Whatever it is for you, you know what that thing is stirring inside of you. And I wanted to share this episode because there are several things, new things in my life that I am either doing or no longer doing for a time that kind of scare me. And they both excite me at the same time, but I have to admit there's that underlying fear of the unknown, and I thought that this topic would be great for Reps and Redemption. So here we go. I am going to share just 3 points with you of the benefits of doing something even if you're scared. So my first point is embracing the fear and trusting God's plan. So there's a lot of things in life that we choose to do as moms, as stay-at-home moms or work-from-home moms, and it can feel super challenging, whether that's in your faith or fitness. You know, for me, it requires trust. I remember how excited my husband and I were talking about when we first decided to homeschool our kids, and now I have my little Annie up and coming into pre-K. But still, I am still to this day, even though I've been homeschooling not very long, but for 2 years, I am scared. I'm scared I'm going to mess it up. I'm scared I'm going to do something wrong or not do something right. And I know that I have to prepare on my end, but also have fun with it and trust God and trust His plan. And we know that we are supposed to do this. And sometimes just the knowing can be enough just to put one foot in front of the other. So embracing the fear and trusting God's plan. And I think that alone is what helps us trust God's plan. Wouldn't you agree? 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." Number 2. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. So I'm going to share my own personal recent, I wouldn't say fear, but I've got to admit, I'm kind of scared. I am competing again in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition this coming Saturday. As we speak, it's in like a day and a half. By this time Sunday night, and actually by this time Saturday night, the competition will be over. And I have to admit, I am a little scared. I am out of my comfort zone. I'm still new. I'm a white belt. I have a few more months and classes, under my quote belt, I guess you could say. But it's a little scary since I've done it before now, especially I do have a little bit of experience. And I got to tell you, this is intense. This is an intense experience. And as much as I love jiu-jitsu, I know you've heard me speak about it on the show before, and I'm learning so much more, not even just being on the mat, but also listening to audiobooks, reading about it, watching it. I guess you could say it's my newest passion, and I understand why a lot of people fall in love with it. And I also understand why a lot of people quit. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I will have to tell you that growth is definitely happening here. And I know after this coming Saturday that I will probably feel a little bit more confident in what I do know. And when it comes to jujitsu and this incredible martial art, I do believe that I will learn, win or lose. Now, who wants to lose, right? I don't think anyone wants to lose. But my first competition, I lost all 4 matches, 2 by submission and 2 by points. So my goal is to just do better than that, whatever that might look like. So I know I'm going to be pushed outside my comfort zone. And also, let me just side note, pushed at a intense cardiovascular rate, I guess you could say. I'm excited. I want to do it. But like I said, there is that fear of the unknown. There is that intense, scared feeling. And maybe for you, growth happens outside of your comfort zone when you put yourself in positions like this, where you kind of do have a choice. You don't really need to do it, but you know it will make you better, whether it's being a better mom or a better wife or a better athlete or just stronger in the things that you are doing in your faith within your family and your fitness. And knowing that growth happens when you step outside being comfortable. I do love that quote that I shared with you in the beginning, because we can't have both at the same time, right? And there's moments where life is going to be comfortable, or during the day, there's moments where right now I'm pretty comfortable, even though I'm sitting in my closet on the floor after a jiu-jitsu class, but I took a shower, I'm kind of comfy. But earlier today, it was kind of an intense day for me, right? So I know that we can challenge ourselves and we will be all the better for it. Now, my third and final step or tip, you could say, is that your journey is going to inspire other people. I'm going to share with you how, I started training jiu-jitsu after a year or so after, it was a little more than a year after my husband and my 7-year-old started. And now my 7-year-old, my 2-year-old, my baby boy sometimes comes to watch and sees me training. And then also, I train in the same classes with my husband and my 22-year-old. And then tonight, I did the women's class with my 7-year-old. She partnered with a younger girl. They weren't the same size, but they were both younger kids, so they could work together. And one of these kids is like a kid's coach, and she works really well with others. And they were able to train together, and sometimes we roll together. And that, when your daughter is watching you, especially, or your son, like my little boy watching me roll on the mat, or maybe they're watching me read my Bible in the morning, we're inspiring the next generation. Consistency in hard things is really challenging for us. I will have to speak for myself maybe, but I know as a mom that it can be hard, like especially when you're scared. But this sets an example, this consistency in your faith, in your fitness, and your children are watching you and seeing what you're doing on a daily or weekly basis. Yeah, maybe you can't make a practice every day, right? I know that I can't. I wish I could. But we do have responsibilities, right? We have certain things that we need to get done, but you can still create consistency on a weekly basis. And then there's those consistent habits that are definitely in place on a daily basis. And when your children are watching you, it's just going to set an example for them to see what their mom is capable of doing on top of all these other things. And I think that that is truly inspiring. I know that this is a short episode, but I hope it encourages you to take a bold step in your faith or fitness this coming weekend, next week. And maybe for you, it's joining a class or committing to quiet time that you've been meaning to, or maybe it's having a difficult but necessary conversation with someone you love. These are principles that I know that we can live out And if you haven't tried a new class, let me suggest trying jujitsu. Just give it a try. I know for a fact that you're either going to love it or hate it or both. And it's just going to make you feel stronger, more aware. And it's also, I think that one of the best perks about it is just being able to do it as a family. That's one of my favorite things. So to wrap up this episode, I wanted to go over the tips again. It's number 1, doing it scared. Embrace the fear. Trust God's plan. Number 2, growth happens outside of your comfort zone. And number 3, your journey is going to inspire others. Until next time, check out this quote by G.T. Shedd.
A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what they're built for.
If this episode inspired you, will you share with a friend? Remember, this podcast offers health education tips and holistic insights. Please consult healthcare professionals for personalized advice. Until next time, Mama, be bold and live well.